Hi, this is Apostle Tony Hill, and welcome to another episode of The Word Made Flesh. This is when we take a powerful passage and bring it to life. I would like to share with you 4 instances when Jesus had to be assertive but yet remain godly. Here we find in John 8:44, Jesus talking to the Pharisees and the Sadducees, and he tells them that you are of your father, and the lust of your father you will do. Then he brings them to the revelation that I'm talking about the devil. I'm sure that this was very offensive to the Pharisees and the Sadducees because they made claim that Abraham was their father. But he said that if you was of Abraham, then you would do the deeds of Abraham, but yet you do the deeds of the devil, which is really your father. Sometimes you're going to have to tell people the hard truth about themselves in a assertive but godly manner. And just because I have to tell you the truth about yourself, you cannot say that I am not being godly. Don't allow anyone to make you feel that because you tell them the truth about themselves that you are not of God, my God. Number 2, Matthew 17:17. Jesus' disciples are trying to cast a demon out of a young man. They could not cast the demon out of the young man, so they brought him to Jesus. Jesus said to them, "How long must I suffer with this perverse and faithless generation?" My God, I'm sure the disciples may have been offended because they was grouped with perverse and faithless people. But oftentimes, listen, you're going to have to tell some of the closest people to you the things that they lack, their inadequacies. And yes, it even may seem like you're frustrated with their condition, but we must remain godly. We must not move in cardinal emotions, but we must purposely reveal the truth. Number 3, Matthew 21:12. Jesus goes into the temple, and they was extorting the people by selling them sacrifices at inflated prices. Jesus turns over the money table. He chases them out with cords, which is whips. And he says, "My Father's house will not be a house of merchandise, but a house of prayer." Listen to what I'm saying. Sometimes you're going to have to physically stand up for injustice and maintaining the integrity of the kingdom. Yeah, it might be at church. Yes, it might be within the family structure. Yes, it might even be on your job. Yes, it might even be in your community. But sometimes you're going to have to physically interrupt injustice and maintain physically the integrity of the kingdom. But don't allow anyone to tell you that you're ungodly because you're standing up. Last but not least, Luke 22:42. Jesus goes into the Garden of Gethsemane, and he said, "Father, if it be thy will, you can allow this cup to pass from me." What was he saying? Father, if it be thy will, you can allow this suffering to miss me. Yes, sometimes we're going to want to be relieved from the suffering of the assignment. But don't let anybody make you feel ungodly because you no longer want to suffer. You might not want to suffer in the marriage. You might not want to suffer in the family unit. You may not want to suffer on the job. You may not even want to suffer in the church. But second of all, Jesus said this, "Nevertheless, not my will, but your will be done." It's okay to not want to suffer, but it's not okay to abandon the assignment. Jesus did not want to suffer, but yet and still he stuck to the assignment. Don't allow anyone to make you feel ungodly because you are tired or you are afraid to suffer. Yes, you're still godly. God still loves you, and you're still anointed. You're still appointed. You are still a man. You're still a woman. Even though you go through human situations where you have to be assertive, but yet godly. This is Apostle Tony Hill. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Word Made Flesh, where we take a powerful passage and bring it to life.